Hey, welcome to the Ryan Got the Bread podcast at the new Mansa Media studio. So we actually built out this whole studio and we're opening it up to everybody for creators in the Philadelphia region. And so this is one of the first episodes of my podcast on here. And today I have a really interesting guest, which I can't wait to talk about. His name is Zakir Rich. He recently bought a duplex with Jessica Gaddy as his agent with the RD Real Estate team. And it's a really noble move because he bought the duplex for his grandmother so she could live in one unit and he could live in the other. The even more interesting thing is that it was a 203k loan, so he got a rehab done on top of it. And, you know, there were some issues which always come up with these type of things. And I think you'll learn a lot. I hope this inspires regular people to see that, you know, wherever you go from, you can, you know, be able to, you know, secure a property and start getting financial freedom. So welcome.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Hey, Zakir.
How you doing?
And yes,
one of the best agents.
That's
ever.
what I'm talking about. Started off right. Yes.
and I forgot to say, Jessica Gaddy is back as co-hosting. She's been missing
a special guest,
Yes.
a special co-host.
Yes.
Right. I'm happy to be here.
Yeah, definitely to have you back.
Yes, ma'am.
Because we've had these one-on-one interviews. Also, you know, this podcast is on YouTube, Spotify, and all that stuff. So like it, support, subscribe, do all that stuff. It's much appreciated. Help it get it out to people. So Zakir, where are you from?
I'm from Plainfield, New Jersey, but I was born in Plainfield, New Jersey. My grandma took me in since birth, so we was always up North Jersey. So I feel like I'm just from New Jersey, period, but I grew up in Willingboro, New Jersey. So I'm just from Jersey. Lived in like 5 different places, like Roselle, Elizabeth, Newark, Plainfield. Now I'm in South Jersey, so that's where I'm located. So Willingboro. When you say where you from,
Yeah, where are you from, dog?
Were you born or were you graduated high school?
Where did you spend most of your life?
Where you spend most of your life?
Spend most of your life?
Your formative years is probably where you're from.
All right, I'm gonna say Willingboro, New Jersey.
You definitely South Jersey with it.
South Jersey, yeah. Willingboro.
We can't claim North Jersey no more.
Can't claim North Jersey no more. It's over.
Yeah.
Willingboro, New Jersey.
Right.
So, you know, so you bought the duplex and you reached out to us from how did this whole thing start with you guys?
For me, I was always in I was going through a crazy little home situation at home. You know, you gotta do something. And I'm trying to make the right decision. I knew Jessica from high school or whatever. So I always kept in touch with Jessica. I know she's doing the real estate thing, pardon me. So I hit her up like, yo, Jess, I need a spot to live. I was looking to rent. Went over to this spot in Beverly. Ew, joint, Ryan. She was like 3 floors. It felt like some, you ever seen Cheaper by the Dozen? That big ass house and hella kids? Uh-huh. Well, it was a nice ass crib. So we went there, went through the process and all that. It was about like $1,600 a month to rent. Uh-huh. I'm like, all right, you could swing that, but it's rent. I was all worked up to get it. That shit blew over. Somebody else came in and got it like that.
Yeah, they already had a lease out for it before I even was able to.
But they let us see it and all that. So that was like the first sign of like frustration. Like, damn, I wanted that joint. I was looking for crazy. I wanted something local so I could be able to get back and forth to work. Nothing that wasn't too far and shit. So that didn't go through. So I was sick about that shit. So me and Jess just regular having conversations about like ownership and shit that I be hearing about for years. But you never think that you could actually like get that shit done. Right. So I was just like, let's do it. Like I ain't know what I was getting into when I first said it. Anything. It was just me jumping up out the limb. Like,
did she tell you? Was she like who told you to buy or like? What was the transition?
Right, because the whole thing.
And me just having like siblings and stuff. I'm like, I gotta set the tone. So why not just go and do it? So I figured it was just time. Like to be honest, I never thought I would do this. Like, I want to do it. I aspire to do it. But it come with just, like, believing in yourself. And I would say at that time, it's not that I don't believe in myself, but I guess I'm also thinking about failing. So I think that could cloud your mind sometimes. You just got to go. You can't think about failing.
I think most of it was because we were assessing, like, how much it is to rent. and it was like 15, 16 for the properties that we were seeing. He was like, yo, my credit is A1.
Right.
And then these rentals are charging like the same I would have to pay for a mortgage anyway. So then you switched focus and was like, all right.
Let's do it. Like, jumped out there like, let's do it.
So I guess like to jump ahead, just to compare, right? So what is the mortgage payment on the house that you bought?
The mortgage payment on the house I bought is $15.
Right.
So ain't that crazy, right? So like, you know, you could rent
but it's
something.
a difference now, though. I was gonna be paying $15 to be making somebody else's situation.
Right.
Yep.
Now I'm paying $15 to better a situation for myself, for my family, my immediate family, and for my future family. So
exactly. Plus that money when you're paying it, some of it goes to the principal pay down. So, you know, that money is actually getting banked for later because when you sell the house, you're going to get that money back. Okay. As long as the value of the house don't go down or whatever. But you did the 203k, so actually, which the 203k loan is a FHA loan where I'm just telling the people. Okay. So it's a loan where you can borrow the money for the rehab, and so you can buy a house that needs work, right? And you can basically get any kind of work done that you want, which especially in this market where it's really hard to find a property, not everybody's willing to go through the trials and tribulations of a construction job, you know, and especially as a first time buyer and someone who has no experience, like let's start with the purchase process, right? Okay. So, you know, how was it working with Jess and like finding the property? Like how many properties you guys look at?
We looked at, I want to say
a handful of properties.
Not a lot though.
It wasn't a lot. Maybe like 4 or 5.
Like 4
that
or
we
5.
Looked at prior to seeing that one.
4 or 5. But the one thing about the one that I actually ended up buying, Ryan, I'll be feeling like when shit is supposed to happen, like it's kind of supposed to happen. Like the house that I bought, that shit went on the market on my birthday.
Oh, I didn't know that. That's
like
crazy.
on the where, like I'm like that's crazy. Like that's crazy.
That was the first thing.
And then it's just like getting in this, like the first sign that I seen with the disappointment when we was looking for the joint to rent. Like I'm thinking his mind, and they sweep in there. So I'm asking Jessica these questions. I'm like, yo, that could happen. She like, yeah, that shit could happen.
Especially
so we going
now.
through this process and trying to get it, and it's just like this whole time. When I tell you it was a long process of getting this crib, and like no one else like even jumped at, and it's a decent house. It's not like people not looking at it like it's something that's big that they don't want to change. Like pretty sure it's somebody that could have stepped in front of me in a way better situation I am and got it going and got up out of there.
You know what? That's crazy because your experience was, I mean, on the loan part probably was rough, but like to find the house, like I work with a lot of other people trying to do the same thing, and it is hard to get a property. You know, there's people like waiving inspections. There's people like there's all kinds of stuff going on where like people come in with cash. Like you can't compete. I can't compete with that.
Yeah, you're right.
So like honestly, with that property, I couldn't believe that she was able to get it because like I'm like they accepted. I'm like, dang, that's crazy.
We had no issues with negotiation.
See, y'all being in the field, y'all looking at each other like, wow, this is me. I'm looking like it's supposed to happen because I don't know. I don't know about like I don't know about the cons. I'm coming in at all pro. Let's get it, and I'm just gonna face whatever I had to face.
That's a funny thing from the agent side, right? Because we kind of know, and the way the market is now, we'd be telling people, you know, you got to bid as much as you can and just let it ride. And people look at us crazy, like, yo, this, so when you're not going to negotiate for me.
I'm going to use this to learn a little bit of things myself. When you say bid, like, so when I went through the process with Jess, I got approved for like $220,000.
Right.
So you saying if I'm bidding on a house, I didn't have to say like that whole 220? When you saying I could have started off like
so what was the house listed at?
The house was listed at 168.
Nah, not from the rip. You going off like when we first started.
It went down.
When we first started.
Yes.
That house was going for like 180.
That's what.
No, but then I thought it went down from there.
No, he started coming down.
They had a price cut.
Then they started, but when we first looked, it was like 180.
Was it 170 something?
It came down to that. It started coming down.
So they were having price reductions.
Yes. Yeah, because it was on the market since April, and that was like July.
Because I liked it because I was just looking for something that was under 200,000.
Right, and didn't require a whole bunch of work.
Right.
But to answer your question, I mean, you could offer whatever you want. You know what I mean? So,
but we knew we had the advantage because it was on the market so long, and it kept cutting the price. So we were like, we could just go in there with anything at this point.
True.
Right. True. But the market last year, was a lot different than how it is even now. Like,
So you're saying it got worse?
If I had a client right now and they seen that property, I mean, it probably would have already sold. It wouldn't have sat on the market that long. But if it had low days on market, like it just came up, I would be like, offer 200, something like that. And then, you know, you might still not even get it. That's how crazy the market is right now. So I'm telling, like, if you went to sell that property right now, you probably make money already. That's how crazy it is.
So you saying that where the market is right now is going back up? It's getting better?
Yeah, the market.
It's crazy.
22% year over year in 2020.
Okay.
And so that trend's been continuing. That's in New Jersey. Or actually, it might be nationally. Don't quote me on that.
That's dope. I didn't know. So these things I gotta stay on.
This is, you know, I used to struggle with this, like thinking that real estate agents don't do a lot in these days, right? Because you could go on realtor.com and look at the houses, right? Like,
I did a lot
back
of that.
in the day.
I did a lot of window shopping. Like before I actually like manned up and went along with the process, I was window shopping like a mug. It was like times I was really pulling up on houses, sitting in front like, yo, I want to get that joint. I want to get that joint. Like really ain't do shit. Like ain't send no approval, ain't tell her agent nothing. Just was looking. Like I seen hella houses when I was looking like that. When I got in the process looking for my own, them shits was gone. It was just like 2 of them shits. It was not a lot that was available.
Yeah, because even after we went under contract, you wasn't seeing anything else after that.
It got harder.
Right?
Yeah, it got harder. I was still trying to find something else because I felt like, you know, never want to just jump at the first one. And this was like the first one I was interested in, right?
The one, you wanted to move on. That's
like
the first one we put an offer on.
I try to tell people when you know, you kind of know though. Like you know, you're like, I could live here. Like it makes sense. Like everything makes sense, and you know. And sometimes it's bad if it's an early property that you see. Then you'd be like, I don't know, maybe I should look around a little bit more.
And a lot of your family, they was like, yo, hop on that. Yeah, you know, so that kind of helped too.
Yeah. Not that I'm trying to like interview y'all. Would you say like when you looked at something like so you never go, you personally, Ryan, if you look for the crib, you actually seen the first one you look at and you loved it, you're not going to just go with that? Or you're still...
I'm super decisive. When I bought my last car, not the Tesla, but the Volkswagen, right? Like, I looked at it online, and I seen it had, like, the tan interior, and I was like, this is the right car. I look up the Blue Book value. Okay, it's priced right. I'm going to just go buy it. I don't test drive. I don't do none of that stuff. Like, I know what I want to get. Yeah. And then I just go get it. Just like the Tesla. I never even test drove any Tesla before I bought mine. I just was like this. I've been wanting it since they came out. Okay. So I just was like, I'm getting it.
All right.
Boom, that's it.
Yeah. I'm not like that. I go back and forth. I didn't even want my house, the house that I bought. Like, remember initially we saw it and I was like, She was like, I don't want this.
I think people romanticize houses, though.
Right.
Okay. And there's like this dreamy thing about it. But when you're buying your first house, your first house is a springboard to
learning experience,
wealth.
Right?
Yeah, it's a learning experience, but it's also the core of your wealth. That like Black Americans' average wealth is 17,000. White Americans is like 140.
The average.
The average median wealth. And a big reason for that is real estate, right?
Okay.
Because that property you have, right? You keep paying it down, right? As you pay it down, your wealth is going up. So when you pay $100 into your loan, that money is going into the equity of the property, which you can, when you sell the property, you're going to get the $100 back, basically, as long as the house sells for at least what you put into it.
Okay.
What generally happens, though, is houses go up in value.
Right.
So you paid 180, 160, 170?
198.
168. Oh, well, that's your loan was 198 with the
so
rehab.
at the end, 198.
The purchase price.
So you bought the house for 160, and then you put 30,000 in for the 203k, right?
Right.
So that's 190 total all in. Mm-hmm. So that house, if it's worth 200,000, you've gained $10,000 in wealth without doing anything. Okay. But then as your loan goes down, as you're making those payments, your wealth is increasing by the amount that the loan is going down. Mm-hmm. So say 5-10 years from now, you'll owe 180 or 170,000. And if the property is worth, say, 210 or 220, the difference there is the amount of money the money that you will get when you sell it. Mm-hmm. So say now you want to move So you get back with your girl or whatever, the situation we were talking about earlier. Say y'all want to move together, right?
Right.
He's starting early with that.
Let me get that drink.
Right. But say y'all want to move together or whatever, you can take that $40,000 that you get from selling your property. You might not want to sell it, whatever.
Right.
But you can sell that property, take that $40,000. Now you got 20% down maybe for a property. Right. So that's how you get into the game. And that's why I'm so big on real estate and owning your own property, because you actually gain wealth by accident when you own a house. Now, if the values go down, that's not true. Right. But if you look at almost anything, see what people was paying for houses. We're in Philly here. What they're paying for houses like in North Philly, right? Right. They was buying them for $40,000. They were $400,000 in the 70s. You know, like if you look way back, it's up. You know, so even on the dips with 2008 and all that.
That's why I commend you on this podcast too, though, Ryan. Because in the same breath, I feel like this is needed, especially like I feel like it's starting to take a turn in this generation. Like we starting to understand it's a lot more we could do, and you seeing these things like it's possible. Like that's what I'm saying. You coming up and you used to rent and watching this shit. You don't really think that you got a chance to like really. It's not that you don't think you got a chance. You don't see it enough to know that it's possible.
Not relatable, right?
Right.
Like, and
it's not. That's what I was looking for. It's not relatable. It's like I hear. That's why I'm happy. Like the people that God put in my life that I bump into and they talk about things like this. It start to give you confidence, low key, that you ain't know you had. Like, all right, I could do this shit. I could do this shit.
That's what I was so excited to have you on, right? Because it's just a regular story, you know, like you just enough information got to you where like, you know, why wouldn't I buy? Why pay $1,500 renting $1,500 to buy? Then the multifamily idea, and you know, people can relate to your story, you know, because like they'll, you know, there's all these rich real estate people, like it's not relatable, right? Like, I mean, like
they don't look like me, they don't act like me, you know.
And that's tough, you know. So and even me, I'm getting a little out of touch at where my point where I'm kind of at, because I was talking to my business partner about it. He's like, you don't remember like our problems that we had. You know, we started in Camden, New Jersey, you know, doing most of the work ourselves. Took 18 months to do the first house, like all kinds of problems. So like, it's always important to start with the people who started, because that's the most relatable. Yeah. So,
are you still on live?
Yeah, I'm still on live.
Oh.
We live on Instagram.
We still live.
3 live right now. See, these people, I'm a Cash App later. They don't even know it. You feel me? When you do down
Cash
shit, you get rewarded. You feel me? Yeah, you feel me? The 3 that stayed the most, they get paid later. You did.
So let's
talk more about the experience as far as us.
The experience?
Yeah, like the whole,
like the first experience,
the whole loan process. Us just having our conversations daily.
All right. Well,
you know, some days you were discouraged.
Yeah. Well, I want to say, like, from the beginning, I think having a solid, just from going on my experience, having a solid agent is
key.
50% of the battle.
Facts.
Like, comfortable, that's big, like, because it's just like, you be so lost, especially if you coming from a position where I come from, where you don't know nothing about this, and you just jumping into the water and shit like that, and if you having somebody that's going to pick up your calls and get to you when they can, like, that is big, because, like, I didn't gotta be in the business to know that good. What's that? Like having a good server, good. What I'm trying to say, just help me out with these moments. Like, good service is key. I'm gonna just say that good service is key, because like it might have been in real estate, but I bump shoulders with somebody. You could tell they just in it for that. They don't love what they doing. They in it for the dollar. If you ain't really moving how they want you to move, they gonna get rid of you, or you're not gonna get a quality piece of their time.
That makes me feel good though, because that was my whole worry throughout that whole process. I'm like, I hope he knows, like, I care, and I'm really fighting for you behind the scenes, you know? Like, and as long as you actually felt that, I felt like I did a good job. You know?
Well, I would agree, because I think you want to have somebody that's going to answer those questions when you lost it, because I'm lost as shit. I know nothing about this. So, boom, I call. It don't matter. If Jess wasn't able to pick up my call or, like, text, she got back to me. And you'll take that. So, I think that was very big, because if it wasn't for that, I think I probably would have quit a long time ago. Like, you know what? I'm good at this shit. Let me just do something, and then that's bad. Like, you don't want to put things off. It's either go hard with that shit or don't. You curse on this show?
Yeah.
All right, go hard with it.
I mean, you have been on.
No, I ain't.
You asking now?
Go hard with it or don't.
Yeah.
So her, like, having a good agent I would say, like, to the people that end up seeing this podcast, make sure you got a good relationship with the agent. If shit feel funny and you don't like how they
on
respond,
both sides,
man, and then stop it. Like, listen to yourself. Do not listen to yourself. And I wasn't a person that always did that, but I'm real big on that now. Like, if I feel it, I'm gonna listen to myself first.
Right.
Yeah, you never want to feel bad. That's the thing. If you listen to your gut, you won't like regret things. Like even on the house, like choosing the house, like if it feels right, that's probably the thing that you should do.
So starting off the process, boom. So I feel like Jess made it easy on a lot of things. Just being able to talk to her about what's going on and her getting back to me and letting me know and informing me on shit like that. So that was cool.
And that's bumping heads from time to time.
Yeah.
Yeah, what happened?
Bumping heads.
Bumping heads, you know.
Where would you say like we bumped heads at?
Sometimes when I tell you some things, like it was like you was being a little resistant to some information I was giving you.
I go like, all right.
Yeah, let's do it.
Like I fuck with Jessica, but then it's still like you gotta.
She's still an agent. She's still a salesperson.
No, it's a good stuff, but I still can't. Like I don't. Like he ain't
fully trust
I don't be
me.
knowing somebody telling me the truth or not, man.
That's
you smiling and shit. You got this
initially.
big ass smile. I don't know, like.
I was like, all right, he think I'm trying to finesse him.
Yeah, you smiling too much. Most people when they serious, like you feel me? They look at you.
I'm always
so
smiling.
I'm like, she real bubbly and shit. I'm like, nah, something not right. Like, but when you start seeing shit being right, then it's just like. I can fuck with her a little bit. I ain't gonna let Shorty in too much. I'll fuck with her a little bit.
It's funny as an agent, I feel when people are feeling that way, and I hate that. Oh, I feel when they don't trust me. Because when I tell you to offer 220 on a house that is listed for 200, people are looking at me like
he's trying to finesse.
They think I'm trying to get more money because I don't care about that. I'm just telling you what the market is. You know what I mean? But that's why I don't like working in this market right now, because every time I got to tell them that. And then when they don't get the house, I tell them, we didn't get the house. They feel like I should have done something to get, I'm like.
But they ain't understand what you was doing from the rip.
Right. Yep. They don't, and it's not, like I take responsibility for everything, and Jess does too. That's why she was number one to bring onto the team, because we both have a sense of ownership, right? So when your loans having issues, we don't really have any control over that. All we can do is
that, okay. See, when I go back to when you say some things that bring me back,
right.
That's why I think me and Jessica would bump heads, and that's the same reason I think I appreciated her the most, because it was certain questions it wasn't her fault. She didn't have the answer to. She's doing the age stuff. It's starting to get situations that you're gonna have to deal with the loan. That I think people need to, like, that was in my position, should understand as well, Ryan, because it's just like a lot of this shit you ain't supposed to become the agent with. I'm coming to Jessica with every situation. And a lot of those things might have been loan situations.
Yeah.
But like
we can't do nothing with the loan, but we are the first point of contact. Right. And at least my perspective, some agents will be like, talk to your loan, because
that's what I'm saying.
That's a big advantage from us.
I can't do that
because we both been loan officers, right? Okay, so we understand it. Most agents don't know all the details of the loan, so they literally will just tell you to talk to the loan officer. Okay, which I don't believe in that, right? Like if I'm involved, I'm gonna do everything I can as when you're an agent.
So you look at it like when you sign up for something, you plan on finishing it up.
Yes, but also even when all the stuff gets fucked up, I still take responsibility, even if I couldn't do nothing about it, right? Like I should have prepared you better at least. Like so, like when I'm like working with somebody, I try to tell them all the things that can go wrong, so at least they know. Like, oh well, like, oh, I didn't know that this might happen, but at least I told you. Right. But I can't control it. Right. Like I can't control what a seller does. Right. Like if they don't do the repairs that we asked for, I can't make them do it. I can, tell you what your options are and ask for more money or beat them up basically, like, but I can't like make them do something. Right. So, but at the same time, as an agent, I try to take overall responsibility for the overall outcome. Okay. But at the same time, sometimes it don't happen. So we had another.
Yeah, it's a lot.
We did another multifamily, which was a whole mess because the seller was like a scumbag, and they kept not following through what they said they're going to do. But all we could do is keep going back, looking at the property, making sure that holding them accountable. But I can't make them do something.
Right. True. And at the end of the day, the client still appreciates that.
Yeah,
but
I do.
The problem is they don't know that we're doing it, or they don't. they don't understand the roles, right?
Mm-hmm.
But that's our fault too. Like the client is, you're not supposed to know. And this
right.
This stuff is not common sense,
right?
Yeah.
So like, how I wouldn't expect you to know. So
it's information that we get later on. Like,
yeah.
We was never really put in these positions to get that information up close and personal like that. So
that's
generational thing that eventually changed. That's why I feel like we on the curve of that changing over.
And that's why I'm so big on the internet and this podcast, and why I'm so excited always to do this is because before you only knew the information in your circle. Yeah. Right? So you only could have access to your friends and family. Yeah. But if you don't have lawyers in your family, mortgage people, how would you know?
Nah.
You don't.
Word of mouth. I think that's the biggest thing. Like curiosity that leads you there if you wanting it. Like we had those conversations with friends all the time. It's crazy you say that. We talking about it, but ain't none of us close to nobody that's doing it or nothing. This just positive talk between us. Right. So when you start rubbing shoulders with somebody that's actually doing it, that's another thing too that I learned and I just took off with. I learned that shit probably later off in school. Don't be scared to ask a question. I was horrible at that growing up. Right. But now that I get it and I know where I want to be, like now I'm
you definitely be asking questions now.
You feel me? Like I wasn't like that before. Like I was never like that. Like so, if you curious, that's why like I got like a lot of little bros and like cousins and shit like that. I be feeling good. Like I steal information from people. Like I want the info from you. I'm gonna get that shit to my little bros and shit like that. I feel like if I keep breaking that off with them, I feel like I'm doing something.
Yeah, exactly. Good, so. But that is like, not to get to a super deep level, but I always feel like that's how you live forever. Yeah. The information that you pass on to people and the impact you have on people make you live inside of those people based off of the information.
That's how it's supposed to be, but it don't be like that. Yeah, because I got like family members where I feel like as though I could have got a lot of this information like sooner. That I'm watching, like I seen you doing it, but like you ain't never get that game to me. I had to go get that. That's true.
And that's a tough battle too. But then sometimes people aren't ready to hear. Because I get a lot of flack for my stances and attitudes towards things. You know what I mean? Like, I always be talking about, like, stop buying expensive cars when you don't own no properties and stuff. And then mostly it's negative. People defending that.
I got an old head right now that I love to death and he don't even know it. Shout out to Jessica. He just closed on that property move. Like, he was probably one of the first ones that even put that idea in my head by, like, going crazy on these cars and shit. Because before I got this crib, I ain't gonna lie, I was trying to get this Hellcat. I was trying to get this Challenger. I wanted this Hellcat back. Yo, I was this close. I was at the
I'm so glad you didn't make that purchase.
And all that. I forget what happened when I didn't get that fucking car. Something happened.
You did not tell me about this.
Wow.
I didn't want to. We was on the up and up. Like that's negative energy. That was draining. I didn't want no setback.
I need to hear all
so
of
I'm
it.
like, I was this close. It just didn't work out at the dealership. I'm like, yo, things happen for a reason. I'm talking to him. I'm like, yo. Because that's another reason, like, I took a little break from, like, the gram and stuff. Because not knowingly, but, like, you just looking at people's shit. Like, I ain't no hater or no shit like that at all. But, like, when you looking, like, on these social media, you seeing people doing something, like, I get inspired from. I don't hate it. I'm seeing you doing some shit around. Like, you just go cop the Tesla, some shit like that. I want that. Like, I know I could do it. I'm not looking at you. I'm going to take that nigga Tesla. I want to get my own shit. I get my own shit. So, it's, like, just being able to see that shit and, like, knowingly that did good for me. Like just wanting to do better I got off topic a little bit. He was just giving me that game on getting an asset and don't be putting no money into no cars and shit like that. That's why I'm like, I never do no payment till I'm like, probably won't even do a payment, but I just feel like shit should add up. Like I should be living in my grandma's house paying a $500 car payment every month. Like that shit don't add up.
But those moments are really important, right? Like had you bought the car, you want to be able to buy the asset that you have now, and you be renting, and those decisions are like a big deal. You know, your whole life.
And
can
you
be
don't
a
even
different.
get it. Like it's so like, man, having those people to talk to, like the right way that want to see you do good. Like put yourself around people that want to see you do good. Like it sounds so simple. People hear that shit all the time, but they don't really do it. Like I could have easily had a friend, not knowingly. Would be like, nigga, if you don't get that car, you ain't know about to get these hoes. You know, South Street about to be lit. You feel me? But but like having like a whole head like that, just tell me like, yo.
Yeah, shout out to Muhammad. I like Muhammad. Yeah.
Don't make that move. You need to be, I'm saying, like, go get yourself.
He actually threw another client my way,
take you to another level. And I'm like,
Facts.
yo.
Yep.
That was a good, like, I knew that, but then, like, having somebody, like, break it down to you even more, it helped.
How was this 203k process with the rehab part of it?
The 203k process with the rehab was, for me, it was good.
It was?
It was good.
Zot, you ain't telling the truth.
Why are you telling me?
Or you forgot?
I might have forgot. I told you.
You buried all of that.
I buried it, and plus I've been dealing with some great plants lately, so I might have. Forgot it. So when you say that, like everything has an up and down to it. When I say like
the whole battle with the whole income situation. Remember that hurdle we had to overcome? As far as we didn't even think we were getting a loan at first, because we hit that hurdle with your income.
Yeah. So wait, which one was it when I was like making the bread, but they didn't?
When you didn't report that you were switching jobs.
Oh, okay, right, all right. So I drive trucks for a living, right? And I was at a temp agency. When you dealing in the field that I deal with, like you change jobs like that. It's not a bad thing, but you just always looking like for the better position.
Right.
I might go here. I might be working here for like 6 months. They talking 17. This guy might bump into this guy, and it's a lot of like just hearsay mouth. So I would go to this job, and they offer like 19. I've been coming there for like 3 weeks, and they just fuck with me. Like, yo, you need to come work for me. I'm going there. So you do a lot of switch offs and stuff. And I bumped into that problem with my loan because they want to see consistent work history. Right. So that was almost a battle. Like I would thought that they would have understood, but I don't know, like behind like what's going on in them offices, they ain't really taking
it wasn't looking too good at first.
It was looking like that was one of those that was about to hold me back. And it's just like I'm doing good, but it's coming off like
on paper it's a whole different thing
like,
to the mortgage
I think the
companies.
loan was suspended for a little bit, and they were telling me like,
so
listen, this might not make it through.
I'm happy you brought that. That was stressful as hell because it was like it's fucking me up because like hold up. I'm doing the right shit and
we doing like happening. Everything. I know.
When you feel like you doing the right shit and it's just not going your way, that shit make you feel like
defeated.
Yeah. Like, you wonder like you thinking some evil shit for it. But it worked out. But overall, just I would say it's good. Like somebody, if you come up, you don't really got too much, and you don't got I'm gonna say resources. You don't got the resources, or you're not aware of the resource you can get to get help. A 203k loan is it's helpful.
Okay.
I'm glad you were open and receptive to like learning, because that made the job easier too, rather than
I understood. I didn't know though. A lot of
people, and some people don't like to say that.
People, like they don't know, but
and they
talking to you like they know. Right,
that is annoying.
So it's just like
that
I
is annoying.
All the time.
So
I'm not like I get it more. I would say so.
All right. How do you work with Otis as far as like picking out? I know he was talking. Was your girl like figuring out what she was going to do with the property?
You said what?
Like, you got offline?
I gotta get offline. No, all of these conversations.
No, I'm keeping it safe.
Yeah, girl.
More Capricia.
It's not Capricia.
Whatever it is, just put it up. All right, I'm going.
He said I need a drink. Really, how did you decide how you were going to do the rehab and allocate money here and there and decide what you were going to do with the property? Because like we said, your plan was to have your grandma move downstairs, which we got to talk your motivation to that too.
Okay.
But first let's stay here. How did you decide what you were going to do with the property? Like, I know we had a conversation, so I flip houses, so we were there. I gave you some recommendations. Yeah. But when it came down to it, like, what happened with that?
Well, first I come from, like, I'm staying, like, all right, I'm approaching the age and stuff where I want to do, like, my own thing. But it's like my grandma, she raised me since I was, like, a little kid and shit. So whenever I got older, it was just, like, that was my main goal. Like, growing up, I feel like that was, like, the only thing I ever wanted to do was... I felt like this time was coming, and it's crazy how this time came. Like, I got little brothers and shit that's under me. Like, we all grown and shit now. Like, they moved and shit like that. But I stayed at the crib just to take care of shit and make things good. But mind you, I still got a private life of my own. Like, people don't know what's really going on, so they automatically gonna judge. You get shorty come through the crib and shit like that. They like, this nigga stay with grandma. I'm like, wait. I take care of this shit for real, but they not hearing that. That's the matriarch. So it's just like, I was never gonna move and leave my grandma. So I was like, yo, what's like the best situation where I could have my adultism or whatever I'm trying to say, where I can have my own, but I still could take care of my situation.
Right.
Duplex. And then it was like, oh, like a light bulb went off in my head. Like, so I could live my life and still make sure shit's straight. It was a no-brainer for me. Oh, my fault.
Just you a little bit. Oh, my bad.
Nah, you good. See, that's God. He want me to go out this live. I get spicy. But nah, so that worked out. That worked out for me. So that's how I knew I was gonna make that decision. Because at first I'm thinking like, yeah, I'm trying to flip. Because you hearing all the positive things. I'm like, I'm trying to flip, do this. Right. But then I'm like, I still ain't get that, enjoy that. My part of my life where I'm doing me and living like freely. Right. So I was like, let me do this. Let me take my time, get other things in order because there's other things I want to do too. I don't want to rush nothing. I just want.
I mean, the fact that you're even thinking like that is super commendable, though.
Yeah, because most people ain't doing that.
No.
Yeah.
Because honestly, my mom tried to come live with me. I was like, I'm gonna help you get this condo over here.
But see, that's dope. See, that inspired me to be. One day, I aspire to be in that position where it's like I could put you in that yourself. So the fact that you're in that position is kind of dope.
Yeah, that's true.
So,
but I'm just saying it's commendable, and not everybody's doing that. Like, right. Like a lot of people.
It'd be shocking that it's not. I don't know. I guess it's your upcoming because I'm thinking like that's how it's supposed to be done. So when y'all saying that it's shocking me, it's like it ain't even like second nature to me. I don't even think about it because I just knew that was had to be done. Like I got raised by my great grandma. Like this not my regular grandma. Damn. I thought that was normal my whole time coming up. I didn't even notice that shit was different. So I get older, I'm like, my great grandma. It's like I got homies like y'all ain't never seen my great grandma and shit like that. Yeah. So that was a little different.
Wow. So then you had the problem with the water situation.
You want to go over that?
If you're comfortable, you know. Because look, people need. I'm telling you,
you gotta talk about the ups and downs.
So it's like it's gonna be ups and downs dealing with this house shit, and this was like my first big joint where you'll look at this shit like, yo, this shit can't be true. But like, if you more of a believer, like shit happened for a reason, you take that second to get it back. I feel like people gotta take time to get it back. Like you can get mad, of course, it's normal to get mad, but if you get back to like it's done, what's next? I think shit flows more better. So all right,
there's no point in crying about. You just gotta figure out what the solution is. You know?
So I had this crazy situation at the crib. This is my first real big boy situation. This shit scary as hell. I ain't gonna lie. All right, so I'm getting demo work doing upstairs because they remodeling and stuff. They doing a new bathroom. They doing a new kitchen, and the water was off completely. There was no water going on the crib. So they doing this, blah, blah, blah. I come to the crib one day, smelling a little funky in there. Shit like that. This the downstairs apartment and shit. It's smelling a little funky and shit. So I'm walking around like, yo, what's that smell or some shit like that? So I look in the bathroom. Somebody took a shit. One of the little Spanish niggas, you know how somebody working on the crib. Your man had like 50 Spanish niggas working on the crib. So I don't know what was going on in the crib and shit like that. So I opened the toilet, like somebody just took a shit and they leave, like left it. Like it's kind of disrespectful. I almost was mad though. I'm like, they trying to tell me I ain't shit. Like you gonna take shit in my house? So it's like, all right, they did that or whatever. So I didn't think at the time, like, bro, like on some country shit. My grandma from Virginia, shout out to Virginia and shit. So I should have got a bucket of water and like poured in there or something easy. But I'm thinking like, all right, I'm gonna just get the water turned on in the crib now. Mind you, I didn't put one together. It's a lot of open pipes and shit upstairs because nothing's on it. It's stripped. It's butt naked now. Nothing in there. So I'm like, all right, I get the water turned on at the crib. Due to COVID and the living situations now, if you get your water turned on, no one has to be there now. That's no contact. Crazy. So they could just turn it on. Back in the day, well, I don't want to say back in the day. Before COVID,
2 years ago,
BC time, you're not going to turn nobody water on if no one's there, like to check it or whatever. So, boom. I get the water turned on and shit. I didn't know that nothing was cut off or nothing and shit like that upstairs. So, water get turned on. Water shooting everywhere, like it's just flooding and shit. So my brother, he happened to be off work because I turned the water on, and he's off on Tuesdays. I got the water turned on Tuesday. Oh, thank you.
I got you.
My nigga turned the water back on and shit. My brother go over to the house. I'm like, yeah, bro, go over there, turn the water on, hurry up, flush the toilet and shit. I don't want it to be smelling all crazy in there, whatever. He get to the door. He called me. He like, yo, Zoc.
It's flooding.
Yo, it's going down over here, bro. You gotta get it. Like, I don't know what's going on, but I hear like a shower going on behind the door. I'm like, huh? What the fuck you talking about? Shower going on right behind the door. So I grabbed the phone, call him on the joint, little FaceTime shit, whatever. He walk in there. When
You did not FaceTime him because you don't have iPhone.
I did it the getaway. See, look, girls don't be knowing. You gotta ask questions, boo boo. You wrong.
What you mean?
We got on Instagram. And Instagram allows you to video call somebody.
You video called him. You ain't FaceTime.
All right. See how iPhone people
jargon.
get. All right. I got on Instagram and we did a video call, and I just see mad water and shit like just coming down. I'm looking like, yo, my heart dropped already. I'm like, no, this my shit. And I'm looking at it like, nah, this not my house. Somebody gotta come do this shit. I don't want to deal with this shit. I'm like, damn. So I called the contractor up. I called O up. He like, yo, no problem, no sweat. He go right over there. He take care of it. Now I'm stuck between this was my next decision to go after. So now the damage that got done, it wasn't too bad. It wasn't like it was on for days and shit was shot. So now I'm facing the next big decision of mine. It's either the damages was good enough I could take her out of pocket or like go do, I guess, like the insurance stuff.
Yeah,
whatever.
I mean, I got to yell at you about this.
Yeah, like, all right, let me give you my perspective first.
Yes, go ahead.
Like, I believe on just moving off like good morals and shit. I understand now. I had homies and stuff. They like, bro, you supposed to go do that insurance. That's what it's for. See,
and Muhammad said that to you.
He said it too, but it's just like, I didn't want that, like, look, like, yo, I just got the crib.
Things happen, Zach.
It happened, but like, it was doable to get done out of pocket. And like, I'm somebody that I never know what else I might face down the line. I didn't want to use that up right now, not hoping something bad happens, but you just never know, some big shit. And I'll do that. I'll cross that bridge when I get there. But I chose to take care of it out of pocket instead of going about it the insurance way. People looking at me crazy because I probably could have came up. I could have got probably could have went and got that Hellcat with that money. But I ain't choose that route because I just didn't want to be looked at a certain type of way early. Like, yo, I just got the crib.
And you care what the insurance company thinks about you as a person?
I'm learning, Ryan. I don't know. I didn't know if it was like a bad look to be doing something like that.
These companies are not people.
Bro.
Yeah.
They just companies.
Well, that's just me coming up in the game, just learning how
Plus-
to maneuver through
plus,
it. 'Cause I didn't know.
Not just fuck the insurance
Yeah.
company, but it's like that's what you pay it for. Like that happens. You didn't do it on purpose.
Right.
The water. It's a crazy situation because COVID is really part of the reason why that happened. Because if you had to be there, you would have known it was leaking as soon as it happened. Right? It's not your fault.
That's
and
true.
that's the whole point of insurance.
Yeah.
You could have got however much you see. The thing is, they would have gave you
I'm
a
gonna
lot
cry
of
in the car, right?
Huh?
I'm gonna cry in the car, right? Because you're making me think like, damn, I left thousands.
So when I heard about this situation, I called you and said, use the insurance.
You did. You did. I ain't gonna cap on this podcast.
But you know what? You know what? Somebody told. Actually, Otis' dad told me this.
Okay.
Weird story.
Right.
Weird tangent.
Wait, quick question on Ryan.
Yeah.
Even though, even you still would have used the insurance, even though it was doable, the amount that I had to pay. Like if it was something, I ain't gonna lie, if it was something that
$30,000 and rehab the whole downstairs.
Okay.
That's what I would have done.
Yeah. Because that's when I feel sick,
water damage.
Yeah.
If the water touched something, it's kind of compromised. So you can't save half a floor. You can physically do that, right? You can, but the insurance company is going to be like, it's compromised.
Right.
So they're going cha-ching for the floor.
Okay.
Walls, sheetrock, paint, bathroom, all compromised.
Right.
So it probably would have been like around that type of money. Mm-hmm. And you might as well use it to fix it because you was already having a construction situation going on. But to make you feel better, so you don't cry.
He's still going to
This
cry.
is kind of a long, dumb story that sounds like it doesn't have anything to do with it. But so it's a crazy situation.
Yo, you feeling it?
Feel good.
I don't feel it.
What do you guys think about
Why you advertising them?
Wait,
Caprico.
you can't show them drinking the thought juice, right?
My bad.
As far as they know, this is what they be drinking now. This what's that tequila everybody drink? This Casamigos. This Casamigos orange. Y'all just ain't get it yet. You feel me?
I just wanted the viewers to understand what you guys were talking about, or the listeners if they listen on,
I don't think they
Spotify.
care.
A little
Too much about
balance. See, I'm being what's that part? I'm being what I'm trying to say. They feel me. And they see that I'm drinking that. I'm being relatable. That's why you here. I'm being relatable. Like when they see us drinking this, they understand now. Now they gonna listen up even more. I'm telling you.
Yeah.
I
So my quick story, which actually could be longer, but I got jumped.
Okay.
In high school.
I got jumped before too. I know what it's like.
In LaGuerre Square in Burlington.
Okay.
And they kicked a dent in my car. I didn't get beat up either, like, because I fought them off, basically. I was in my
so
car.
you won.
I didn't get beat up. I didn't win.
All right.
My shirt got ripped, all that.
All right.
But they beat up my car.
Oh.
I had some dents. So I worked at Pathmark.
Right.
And this guy randomly comes up to me while I'm getting out of my car to go to work.
Yeah.
Like, oh, I could fix these dents while you're working. And I'm like, what do you mean?
Yeah.
And he shows me his trunk. He has like tools. I don't know shit about this. I'm like 17. I don't know nothing. I was like, he's like, what was it, like $400? I was like, okay.
All right.
What an idiot. So like he just like jams the car with whatever tool and pulls it out and then puts like Bondo over it, like real messy. And then like I go out when I go back out there.
A disaster.
I mean the dents are out, but it's all fucked up.
So he fixed it but fucked it up. That's a different situation. He fixed it. But he made some new shit at the same time. That's crazy.
I ended up paying him because I'm 17 and it's like a grown ass man. I'm like, all right, I'm gonna pay him. I'm not gonna be like, nah.
Right.
So I give him $400. I was working at Pathmark, so I was making $8-9 an hour. That's a lot of money.
Right.
That was all your money.
Yeah, it was a lot of money. It wasn't all my money because I know how to save. I had a lot of money.
Oh, okay.
I had some money saved.
Right.
But
Nice.
but I went back and my boy's friend was like, or his dad was like, what the fuck did you do? Like this is not how you fix the shit.
Right.
And I feel dumb. And he's like, don't feel bad. You're gonna fuck up way more money than that. And that is true. I've lost thousands of dollars in shit before. So like you can't sweat it. Like just keep like your attitude, just keep moving forward because you'll learn. And actually it's more valuable to learn that, right?
Right.
Next time you'll be like, oh, I'll just do the insurance.
That part.
That's it.
That part.
So don't feel bad.
All
it happens.
Nah, I feel you.
But those are wise words
But
that
it's like,
when I fuck up money.
Because when you break it down like that, like if somebody would have told it to me a little bit more like that, like
I thought y'all had a
I
conversation.
did a bad job.
it was that, but it was like I don't think Ryan like broke it down a little bit more to
Probably
me. Like
not.
when you just said like, yo, you could have got that 30,000, flipped the whole downstairs. Oh, now we like hold up. Now all right.
Because when you talked to me, you was like, yeah, I ain't using the insurance. I mean, Ryan trying to say I should use the insurance.
Yeah,
and I'm like,
there are a lot of
not?
people. Ryan, my uncle was like,
Yeah.
so, hell yeah, man, what you doing? That's what we paying. That's what we paying them for. But I'm like, yo, I just got it. Like I ain't had this shit a whole month yet.
Don't
I'm calling
matter.
insurance, talking
Doesn't
about.
matter.
That's you
what it's
had
for.
it.
It's a lesson learned. It's definitely a lesson learned.
That's facts.
So another tip for insurance for the viewers or listeners is like roofs, right?
Okay.
If you live in an area that hails,
Right.
you probably have hail damage.
Okay.
So if you get a contractor out there and they find hail damage to your roof, that's an insurance claim.
Okay.
So instead of paying $10,000-$20,000 to get your roof fixed out of your pocket,
Right.
make sure you have somebody up there to look for hail damage. It's legitimate. If you have hail damage, that's under your coverage.
Okay.
But people don't think about this and they feel dirty about it. They feel like they're getting over. I'm not telling people to like fake it, but
Right.
if you have hail damage,
Apply that pressure, get it fixed.
call them and tell them you got hail damage.
Yeah.
Why don't black people do it? White people do this all the time.
Kyle, our producer, is asking, why don't black people do this? And
Why
I
don't
think
black people do what, Kyle? What was that?
use
File these
insurance.
claims. Why do we feel scared
I
or
think
less inclined to
we
call?
do,
and
I
claim
do
the
think it is a more of a black community thing. I think we're
Okay.
kind of afraid of, we're just afraid of the systems.
All right, I think from my
We don't know how
experience,
it
why I
works.
said I didn't do that shit, Kyle, I guess like really not knowing, like how you said, why ain't you? It should be that simple. It was one of those things where as though like I didn't want to look like I'm trying to get over. but I guess when you say it like that, I guess white people. I don't want to say that. That made me look crazy.
No, yes.
But, people been getting over it for a long time, and it's just like that's why I would say, from moving forward, like if you in that position and it happened, use it. So I guess that's one of the lessons to take away from this conversation. Like, use that insurance on day 1 compared to day 50. It don't matter if you run into that situation. Use it. I just didn't want to look like I was coming crazy or something, so that was why I didn't.
Yeah, you felt like they was gonna act like you did something wrong.
Right. So I guess that was just like bad thing for real.
Yeah.
Hopefully I learned. Maybe somebody can go break something today.
Don't say that on the don't say that. We talk about that later.
Insurance fraud.
But like, damn. But
You trying to be
I
fraud
definitely
now?
would advise that from moving forward though. Like, just
Gotta
use that
these
insurance
things,
and be knowledgeable about. I guess being knowledgeable about shit is like.
And I really think about that. Like, knowledge is like these are all these cliche things, but they're true, right? Like, earlier we were talking about like the information in your circle.
Right.
You are who you hang around
with. You
all
are
that
the company
stuff that
you keep.
told,
That
you're
shit
like,
is real.
It's real. All that stuff is
That
real.
shit is real.
So like, it's real crazy about that.
But you gotta want to learn too.
Yeah,
you know.
Yeah, that's the crowd I'm talking to. The people that's into it, like seeing it and being able to touch that shit is so important. Like, off me doing that alone, like I know I touched people because I got like little homies and shit now that hit me like, yo, bro.
I've been seeing the comments. Like, some of your people started following me,
bro. Like,
you know?
It's big.
So
just knowing you can do something like is real.
The influence that you have, like on your circle, is crazy.
That shit is huge.
Yeah.
So where are you at with the property now?
But I'm still like getting little things touched up and stuff. Like the township that I move in, like what's that thing I had to go for?
The CO.
The CO. So it's like, all right, I got a lot of things fixed and stuff through the rehab naturally. But that don't even compare to what the town, like I did that, now you gotta do it over. Like, yeah, they did that. Township don't care. But here's our list of things that you wanna have.
They gave you a laundry list?
Yeah, you got a whole list of like things. I got like little shit though. I gotta like.
But I thought a lot of that was being addressed with the rehab, but they still had their own little
my
nuances.
rehab mostly, I got the duplex. It was more for the first top. Not
the
every
second floor.
I got a little
it was for the
too.
second floor that you had to.
It was for the second floor.
Okay.
Nothing was for the first floor.
Yeah, the first floor was good.
Like that's good. Okay, so everything was for the second floor. Nothing was for the first floor. Right. So I had to take a lot of things that got to get this first floor complications.
What are some of the things that you had to get fixed
on the first floor?
The second floor.
The things that had to get done on the second floor.
So what we're talking about real quick for listeners, if they don't know, the CO is Certificate of Occupancy. In New Jersey, you need a CO or Certificate of Occupancy that the township says the house is safe to live in. And so you might have permits and construction inspections, but you also have the township overall signing off that you can live in the property. So go ahead.
Right.
What kind of things did they ask
for you
on my CO?
Yeah.
Correct.
The CO, like, listen, like the windows got to be functional up and down. I got like that issue.
They won't stay up a little bit.
They won't stay up a little bit. So I got to find that light, a lot of light shit though, Ryan. Fire extinguisher, smoke detectors, all like little stuff. Which be confusing to me because it's like the motherfuckers live in the crib before you and shit. Right. And they don't get none of this fixed. And I'm wondering like, how are they living like this? And like, I thought this was in the rules, but when I buy the house, I got to get this shit fixed. I don't understand that, yo.
You see what type of time they were on though. They wasn't even paying the taxes or nothing.
Yo. Like, yeah, that was a little confusing. So it's like little things like that on the first floor that got to get touched up. And we almost there. Like we almost there.
How do you feel overall about the whole experience? You know?
I love it, yo. Yeah. I love it. It just make me like when you come up and you're not too sure that you can get some shit done and like you just fighting that uphill battle or just challenge yourself and trying to accomplish some shit. When you finally like accomplish some shit, now it's just like if you hungry for that shit, like it's like what's next? Like I finally did some shit now. Now it's like I'm over it. Like now I'm just hungry to challenge yourself.
Need
like
again,
like
What's the next project?
The next project, me personally, I'm trying to get a truck. Like I drive trucks.
Yeah, you did say that.
I meant to ask you about that. Yeah, because you've been working as a driver,
right?
And I know a couple people who drive, and then a couple people who purchase trucks, and like that whole game. Like what? Tell the people what's up with that. Like you start as a truck driver, and then you get your own truck. Like what's the benefits, and how does that all work? Like what are you thinking?
Yo, it's crazy. Ryan, because this shit almost is like the same as the house shit. Because it's like you could, if you renting, like you living under somebody, it's just like comfortability. Like, what do you want for yourself? So like I'm working at this job, I'm going hard as hell. Like I know, like I work hard as shit. Like I ain't out here pump faking. Like I'm going hard when I clock in, doing extra shit. Ask me to go pick a load. I be tired as hell. Like yeah, you feel like you not getting that love that you should be getting for that when you look at that nut ass check. Like what the fuck is out long as hell? And then it's like yo, you go get your own truck. I can make more than that. But I just more fear. Some people fear like the responsibility that comes along with it.
What is the responsibility?
Really taking, all right, me working for somebody, all I do is clock in, I use that truck to work, I go home. I don't got to worry about gas out my own pocket. I don't got to worry about the engine going, all the little things like the heavy shit. Like that ain't on me. That's a benefit. Like you, but it's just like you got to deal with that if you want this nut ass paycheck. So if you want the challenge, you got to get rid of that nut ass paycheck and go take on it the full everything that come with that.
The truck parts be crazy high too.
Yeah, it is, but it's the same thing like with the house. Like if I'm renting for something, Ryan, you my landlord.
Right.
When this sink fuck up, hey yo Ryan, yo, you gotta come. This shit tweaking over here, cuz you gotta come get this shit together. Like, nah, it's your crib now, so you gotta take care of that.
Yeah.
So me like put myself in position to get the crib, it made me feel like, all right, if I could do this, I know I could do this now because it's the same responsibility. It's different, but it's kind of the same at the same time. So it's like I gotta go get my own truck now. Like I can't be. They don't appreciate me enough. This shit crazy. I need something else. Like
it's funny. All those things kind of go together, right?
Yeah,
like it's that ownership mindset versus like a temporary I'm just here type of mindset shift from renting to owning your own business to all that kind of stuff. Yeah. It's all like the similar, and that is a cool thing. Like I feel like within the Black community, that information is becoming more attractive to start taking ownership and doing that kind of stuff. So that's why we're here. Yeah. What's up, Jess?
What's going on?
What you got? You got anything?
Nope, you covered everything.
I feel like I didn't let you talk a lot because I'd be going.
You don't ever let me talk.
Well, the Capricorn women response.
Make sure you include this clip. He prefers me to shut up.
No, he don't.
Yes, he does. So I'm giving you exactly what you want.
Be careful.
I'll just be a little hype man over here in the corner.
Be careful.
Be careful with what?
Be careful what you're saying. All right, go in.
Look
so that's
stirring a pot over there.
Stock juices.
Hey,
Stock juice.
So Zakir, I think we covered everything. What would you like to tell people? Do you have anything?
Any words of advice?
If you
people out there,
my only advice would be to just like believe in yourself first, cause like you just said I'm somebody that think too much. Doubt. Appreciate that. You could doubt yourself a lot. Just believe in yourself first, and I feel like a lot of things will start to open up more.
Matter of fact,
I feel like things could get broken. Like I would say I wasn't always a person that like. I didn't think I was a shitty person, but I didn't believe in myself like that. I think I was just coasting.
That's deep.
Just not knowing what's going on, just doing shit
real.
because you're supposed to do it.
Yeah.
Like you can go on to college because like, oh, that's what you're supposed to do.
Right.
Like I ain't.
Why'd you feel like that, and how'd you change that?
Because why did I feel like that? Just from what you see, like my whole experience growing up and shit. Like you go to high school, go to college. That's how you put yourself in position to do better for yourself, and that shit ain't the case at all. And you gotta understand that. So that's why I would say that. Do that.
Well, I'm very proud of you, Zakir. We've known each other for like 15 years now.
Yeah, something like
that. Something like that. We go way back.
Something like that. I'm not good at math. So
in the
I'm
sandbox.
Put numbers on it and shit. You know. I didn't have facial hair though. But
you did.
Did? Yeah, I got hairy family, so I did probably have facial.
And you had the braids.
Yeah.
All right, so that's all we have today for the Ryan Got the Bread podcast.
Ryan Got the Bread podcast,
and that was my first transaction too.
I really don't.
We gotta talk about
Ryan Got the Bread.
I don't have the bread though.
That's a scary name. You sure you want to be telling people that? We in Philly. Ryan Got the Bread. You done woke up like 20 robbers. Oh man,
not 20 robbers.
I did not make this name. I actually hit the name. Kyle, our producer over here, has made the name.
You drink more than me.
Yeah, I'm gonna be in somebody's DM after this.
You offline? Are you offline?
We back.
Yo,
live.
no, you doing
live,
too much,
baby.
yo. You doing
No
too
cat.
much.
You can't have no cat.
No, but for real, this was my first transaction.
Okay.
Your first house.
Yo, that's
We'll
dope.
always share that moment, you know?
And one thing I was big on Ryan, like just like trying to like work with like your own people. I don't think Jessica really know that. Like one of my reasons for even going with her, because she was like a black female.
Cat, because you was trying to work with somebody else before me, but
No, that was for renting.
It
Renting,
doesn't
not for
matter.
buying a house.
But you still. was
But
trying to
my
get
mom,
another
see
agent.
that's the female. You know what I'm saying? She don't understand that it actually people
Oh,
grow.
I forgot,
People grow.
I
She don't-
forgot.
I might have bumped into a situation.
I
My
forgot.
mind done changed and stuff.
Hey,
Like, you know
you
what?
know?
Let me do it that way.
I
So
forgot that you even old house.
this
I
is
forgot.
Ryan's Got the Bread podcast. Just so everyone knows. So that was one of those big things why I worked with Jessica too. That I would say that because it was like, yo, I want to do that with somebody. Like I would tell her too. Was I not saying like, yo, I can't wait to be the first person that was your first sale. Now go ahead, cap on here and say I ain't said that.
You would definitely say
all
that.
right, though. So it was like,
I'm gonna be
yo,
your first.
I wanted to like, you
Yeah,
feel me,
you
like just so that we
definitely
could do it and like young, like this shit amazing. Like what, 35, Jess? She's like, she young black woman, 35. You know, I'm young, but I ain't even 30 yet.
That's
Oh, 30. I forgot. It's
that's
the
what you
Caprese. So it's 30.
That's what you doing?
And it's just like I think that's
35.
good to show people like we can actually work together too. Like you don't gotta.
Yeah.
Some people they feel like you might look at her and be like, nah, she can't help me, but she can really help me though.
That's getting a lot better.
Yeah, like
You know.
we could work together.
Okay.
I feel like that's
Thank you
good
for
for people to
actually
say.
trusting me. You know,
Thank you. Just
throughout
thank you
that
for
whole
being
process.
open about it, like and just being like I felt like you was transparent. So
That's all I try
that's
to
why
strive to do.
another advice I would give on top of like being believing in yourself, go with your gut. It's so big on that. Like I went with my gut the whole time and it worked. And I never used to do that before. It was hella situations you come up and you like, damn, I wish I did it that way. It's one of those situations I'm happy with how I did it.
For sure. So that's it. That's the RGB podcast. Yo,
RGB. Oh,
yeah,
I thought you was
Ryan
on
got
some
the bread.
gay shit. I thought what's that crowd?
Are you done drinking?
You
need some water.
if
LBG. I thought that's what he said.
we do all this, so we might have a more casual conversation after I put that stuff on Patreon once I get the Patreon set up.
But
So
that's the thing,
this is
you
the
never
second
set
hour.
it up.
I have everything in the tuck. I will be announcing something at some point. See you guys.